Howdy folks, Spencer here, and today I'm going to be going through and taking a look at the latest batch of news for STO on both PC and console as of April 6th, 2023. As always, chapters will be listed down below for those of you that want to skip ahead to any specific topic. And the first thing I want to talk about today is that Cryptic has broken the PC side of the game. So a couple hours ago, as of me recording this video, there was a patch rolled out of nowhere on the PC side, and if you downloaded that patch, which was like 2.5 gigs, then as soon as you try to start your game up, it will say unable to start game client quit unexpectedly. And if I hit my STO right now and I hit the engage button, I get the exact same issue. So 3 to 5 hours later, this issue is still persisting. And if you are in the game, there's apparently quite a few crashes happening if you're able to actually start it up. And also, as far as I'm aware, the only people that are actually able to play the game fine right now are those of you that had the game open before this patch dropped. So if you have the game open, or if you have had the game open and you're still playing, you should be fine. But for those of us that did not have the game open at that specific time when this random patch dropped, we're pretty much screwed until Cryptic rolls out a fix. Now, they did go on Twitter and state that they're aware of the issue and that they are going to put out a patch in the morning to fix the issue. So it is going to be fixed. It's just that the game is going to have been down for like 12 hours on PC for most of us. So a bit unfortunate. I do wish that Cryptic was a bit more prompt when responding to major issues like this. And hopefully, we also see an announcement in the next day or so stating that they've extended the Voth event by a day or so. But there's been no announcement so far. So I just wanted to let you guys know why your STO isn't starting up. It is a known issue, and you'll just have to wait for this Thursday patch to roll out in a couple hours. And now I want to go through and take a look at the patch notes for console and PC from April 4th. So a lot of these fixes are similar, and a couple of these things for console are things that we just recently had on PC, lots of little bug fixes. One of the big things for those of you on console, though, is that those crowds of cadets on Starfleet Academy are no longer going to be a thing. So these are the cadets that were like all huddled together over by the exchange on the Academy, and it didn't look very good, especially as a map that new players typically see right away. So it's good that they fixed that. They fixed that on PC a while back, and now that fix has finally rolled out to console. On the PC side, they have resolved some issues with Eye of the Storm. On both PC and console, they have made it so that the Excelsior 2 can now use the consoles from the prior versions of the Excelsior. They resolved an issue that was preventing speed bonuses from applying to many of the targetable torpedoes. I'm not sure if this is fully working yet or not, but this is basically things like the Swarmer Matrix or the Hydra console. Those have always had issues working with the targetable torpedoes to actually boost their speed. So hopefully this has helped, but I don't know whether or not this has actually worked yet. A big change here is that Concentrate Firepower has now received that change that they were talking about on 10 Forward last week, in that pets will no longer steal your Concentrate Firepower procs. And from what I've heard, this is working pretty well. If you're trying to test it on Tribble, however, Tribble is not actually up to date right now. So the version of Concentrate Firepower over on Tribble is still the old version. The new version here is not on Tribble yet. But this was a good change, and I am glad that they listened to the feedback from myself and others that it was very annoying to have pets stealing RCF procs, so that's a good change there. And they also fixed Call Emergency Artillery with this patch. It took a couple months, but I'm glad that CF or Concentrate or Call Emergency Artillery, I'm glad that it's actually back at its original state. And another silent thing that went live with this patch on the 4th was that the Mogai, we have the legendary Mogai dropping in about a week or so, but the remastered skin has dropped for the older Mogai skins. So a reminder, the Akira is not getting a remaster, but they did go through and remaster the Mogai to go through and to bring its model a little bit more up to date with the current standards of the game. So if you're a fan of the Mogai, you don't even have to get the legendary bundle to get those remastered skins because they are live right now. And next up on PC, we have a Red Alert event starting today that will be running through the 13th. So this is just a 1 week long Red Alert event. If you participate for 5 out of the 7 days, you will get an ultimate tech upgrade and a specialization point. And just a quick reminder that the Borg and Tholian Red Alerts are your best bet for quickly getting through this event daily. And on the PC side of things, we also have an R&D and Junior Officer Week running from today through the 13th. So what this means is that R&D and DOF packs in the C store are going to be on sale. R&D packs are also going to be giving extra materials. And on the DOF side, any DOF packs you open that are part of this list here will give you an extra DOF, and you'll also be able to get some extra commendation XP from any duty officer missions that you run in this time period. So if you have a recruit character that you need to work on duty officer commendation levels for, might be a good weekend to go through and do some doffing on that character. There's also going to be an event on the Starfleet and Klingon academies where you can go down and do this particle scanning stuff to earn some duty officers. This is very, very time intensive. You can do it if you want, if you're bored, but I don't think it's necessarily worth your time. There's probably more efficient ways for you to just grind EC and buy the DOFs you're looking for instead. Because from what I understand, this takes quite a bit of time. Now, I will also say it's not listed here, but I would not be surprised to see that there's like a promo flash sale or something announced later today. So stay tuned for that. Nothing has been announced yet, but usually they try to time the promo sales for around the time they're doing these R&D and junior officer events. And it's been quite a long time since the last promo drop. So it is very likely we may see a promo flash sale happen this weekend. So just stay tuned for that if that is something you care about. And next up, we have the first Contact Day event starting up on all platforms on April 12th, and it will be running through May 3rd. This is not a part of the year-long event campaign. This is just an event that they run every April to celebrate First Contact Day. Now, the specific reward this year is going to be the Universal Console Chronogami Time Portal. This is a console that originates from Star Trek Lower Decks. I believe the episode was Crisis Point 2. So if you're looking to see what that console is like in the show, then go check out that episode of Lower Decks. That is also the same episode where we saw the Mogai that inspired the skin that the upcoming legendary Mogai has. Now, you need to play this event for 14 days to get the rewards, and you'll have a few different options. You can play the Synthwave TFO once a day, or you can play the Bozeman Ground Patrol once a day, or you can do the Rocket Building TFO once a day. Now, the Rocket Building TFO is generally the easiest option here. All you have to do is grab a part from each area and fully assemble the rocket, and that is really all you need to do for that TFO. It does take a few minutes, but it is insanely easy to do, and it's also a really good map to go through and utilize to grind rep marks for really undergeared or new alt characters, because there's no combat. All you're doing is running around and grabbing parts to assemble the rocket. It is a very good place for anyone to go through and grind rep marks out on. Now, for the rewards here, there is some unique comm badges that you can get on account-wide unlock from playing any of these TFOs or patrols or whatever here in this during this event. So there's 17 total, and each time you run one of these, you can get a box to go through and earn another. I don't remember if these are on a timer or not, but with the event running for like 3 weeks, you'll have plenty of time to go in and get those 17 comm badges if that's something you care about. Then, of course, for the rewards, we have the Chronogami Time Portal, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then we have a First Contact Day bundle. Once you complete the event, that will net you a Captain Spec Point, 25k to lithium ore, the Launch Toy Rocket social device, and the Phoenix Shuttle Hollow Emitter. So these are mostly things that they've done each year for these events. Now, for the Chronogami Time Portal, this is, of course, a universal console, and you can see the visual of it here. And when you activate this console on a target, it will send a future version of that ship through the portal that is going to explode with a warp core breach that will scale up based on your EPG skills. And that will damage all surrounding foes. And to fulfill the loop, when your target ship is defeated, it will, as it starts to go through the warp core breach process, it will be sent through a Chronogami time portal. So this looks like it's mostly going to be a fun console. I don't expect this to be super crazy performance-wise, but if you're on an EPG build, this should be boosted by all of your EPG abilities. I do not expect to see this, being meta. I just expect it to be fun. And if you use this on an enemy battleship, dreadnought, or boss, then, or if you destroy an enemy battleship, dreadnought, or boss, it will reduce the recharge time to its minimum value. So in the right situations, you might be able to spam this console quite a bit. The Launch Toy Rocket and the Hollow Emitter Phoenix Shuttle have been around for a while, so I'm not going to talk about those. And of course, after the 14 days, if you want to keep doing the event, you can go through and earn extra lithium ore each day. And this event will only cost $20 worth of Zen to buy out, so it doesn't look like they have increased the price to buy it out like they did with the events for the event campaign. And again, this is not a part of the year-long event campaign. This is just a set in-game event that they do every April. And the last thing I want to talk about today is just a few quick notes that I saw from the 10 Forward stream. And again, thank you to the Sujuk car for going through and putting this up on Reddit. So the first thing here is that the Tommy gun is not available in MUDs because it's in the Picard bundle and they want to keep it exclusive to that bundle. And every time I see Kale respond to the Tommy gun issue with just that response, he's really, like, honestly just really tone deaf to the issue that specific weapon has. So the Tommy gun, for reference, is an insanely popular weapon in the game. It's pretty effective. It's a kinetic weapon, so the Borg can't adapt to it, and it has a really powerful secondary attack that can deal quite a bit of damage to up to like 15 targets, and it does actually do pretty well performance-wise. So it's a really fun weapon that works well. And the issue is that if you missed the initial event that it dropped from, which was a First Contact Day event a couple years ago, the only way to get it in the game is this Captain Picard bundle. And the issue there is that, guess what? Whatever character buys the bundle is the only one that gets the Tommy gun. They put the Tommy gun into a $120 bundle, but then they didn't make it an account-wide unlock. They made it so that only the character that bought the bundle gets the Tommy gun. And, this isn't the first time there's been issues with bundles having, unlocks that were like this that annoyed people. But it just, every time when we see this response from Kale or Cryptic, it's just annoying because that they're not understanding what we're trying to say here. And hopefully we can get Kale to realize what the actual issue is here at some point, because this response just like it's just annoying to see that response constantly over and over again. The Section 31 rifle not being in MUDs is likely just because it was forgotten, so expect the Section 31 rifle to be in there at some point. And the other highlight that I wanted to point out from this and forward, which was just a Q&A one, there wasn't anyone on other than Kale from what I understand. The other highlight here is KDF ships. So Kale said that the reason there hasn't been any KDF ships in a while is that they just, basically they just don't sell as well as the Fed ships do. And it makes sense, the Federation is the heroes of the game and or of the franchise, and people want to play as the heroes. So Fed ships clearly dominate the sales. Now, the part of this that I thought stood out though is that Kale looked at the ship list, their internal ship list, and when he looked at it, he said it didn't seem like there was any KDF ships, coming anytime soon. So I just wanted to give those of you that like the KDF side a bit of an update there. That unfortunately, it looks like the KDF side is not going to be seeing any new ships anytime soon. Now, I'll include a link to this 10 forward breakdown in the description down below if you want to go through and read through the rest of it. There might be a few other interesting things there, but those were the two highlights that I wanted to point out. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you again to all channel members and viewers for the continued support. Again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down below. See you guys around.